What's up, people? I'm Shaggy, the Opinionated Hippie, and today I'm going to start reviewing Eric Clapton's solo studio albums. Just the albums Eric Clapton did that were not collaborations with other people, that were not part of other bands, that were not live. It's over 20, so we're going to do it by decades. We're going to start with the 70s. He put out 6 studio albums under his name, Eric Clapton, in the 70s. So that's what we're going to do. And then I'll do the 80s, and I will rank them as I go. And because there aren't that many in each decade, there's like 4 or 5. I will like rank the 70s by themselves. Then I'll rank the 80s in the next video and incorporate the 2 lists. So as we go along, the list will expand. How do we get to Eric Clapton from Frank Zappa? God, God, I see God. Frank Clapton says that we're only in it for the money. And then Eric Clapton was in this little band called Cream with somebody named Jack Bruce, and Jack Bruce is on a Frank Zappa album called Apostrophe. So there's 2 easy connections right there. There are others. Yeah, I was in his Clapton early as a preteen even. My stepdad was really into Clapton. I saw him a lot. Other than the Grateful Dead, by far the artist I saw the most live before I went to college. He came through on the Money and Cigarettes tour, Southern California. Pretty sure it was the Money Cigarettes tour and Behind the Sun and August. I saw him on all of those. And I think each of those 3 times, Clapton did a bunch of shows in the spring, outdoor amphitheater shows. And then he came back almost every fall and played like the sports arenas, the LA Forum, the LA Sports Arena. So got to see him twice on each tour. I'd usually go with friends and my stepdad. Loved him. Kind of checked out once we got to the late 80s and stuff. Didn't really follow up on him, though I have always tried to keep up with his albums just because I have so much love for his early stuff. But yeah, all right. Yeah, we're not even going to address his politics now. Just his awesome music that he made. And we're going to start with the 70s. So here we go. 6 albums, talk through them, put the list up at the end when I'm done, and that'll be it. All right, here we go. On to number 6. Oh, and before we get on to the albums, I have this theory that there is an alternate timeline. There is another timeline where Eric Clapton's career became more like a Jerry Garcia band type thing, because especially in the 70s, a lot of these Eric Clapton songs remind me of Jerry Garcia songs. In fact, Jerry Garcia covered the Jerry Garcia band, does some of them live, Lay Down Sally, After Midnight. But I could imagine there is a world in which Clapton toured all the time, mixed up his set list all the time, played a bunch of covers like Jerry did, jammed out songs, because there are so many songs in these 70s albums, which would I would go see a run of Clapton shows if he mixed up the set list every night and did all these deep cuts and jammed them out like Jerry did. So one of the reasons I love 70s Eric Clapton so much is it has a very West Coast, California, Jerry Garcia chill vibe that resonates with some tuning fork in my soul. So that's why there's going to be a lot of praise for these albums. But I do think Clapton could have taken a different path and been a different kind of artist. But yeah, all right, now on to number 6. Number 6 is his 3rd studio album. There's One in Every Crowd. This came out in 1975. And this thing is just a little too laid back and a little too chill. I still enjoy it. Still got a good vibe. But one of the big reasons it falls to number 6 is the second song on here, A Swing Low, Sweet Chariot, is a cover of Swing Low, Sweet Chariot. Nothing wrong with that song. I don't want to hear Eric Clapton doing it. I don't like the arrangement. Generally just don't like it. There's also another song on here that I don't really like. Oh, Don't Blame Me. Clapton original has like a pseudo reggae vibe that yes, I understood he made it big with I think his cover of I Shot the Sheriff, I love. Great. I don't need more reggae. Don't need him writing his own reggae songs. To me, yeah, certain genres you don't mess with unless you really know what you're doing. But anyways, those 2 songs I kind of don't like, and they go, other than that, there's some really good soft rock. Better Make It Through Today is almost like an Elton John McCartney 70s soft rock type song. Kind of good. Got some good blues playing by him on Singing the Blues. The Sky is Crying. We get some good stuff. Then we get like his couple of his own originals, Opposites, closes the album. It's kind of just eh. The opening, We've Been Told You, Jesus Coming Soon, and cover of the traditional song is pretty good. Got a nice, loose, kind of flowy, jammy side. But unfortunately, the rest of the album doesn't really expand on that. Yvonne Elliman is here doing some lead vocals. Her voice is absolutely amazing. Gives that opening track especially some really nice sort of gospel, some really hard, good gospel flavor to it. So yeah, it's just kind of a eh. Clapton's trying to experiment. He's trying to definitely not trying to be a rock god or a rock star. This is some pretty laid back, chill stuff, but it's a little too laid back. It's a little too chill. Some of the choices are not that good. But yeah, this is probably the most anemic of his 70s output. But yeah, just a little too chill. My number 6. There's One in Every Crowd, and this is the album that's in this crowd. On to number 5. My number 5 is his number 4, 1976's No Reason to Cry. This is just I think quite a bit of a stronger, more consistent, more entertaining album than the third one. Dylan and the band appear on here and do provide some of the highlights of the album. Bob Dylan's Sign Language, which is a duet with Clapton, which it almost sings like they're purposely singing different songs. They're not harmonizing very well, but it's interesting, the Clapton Dylan dynamic. On another song, what is the other one? Danko sings on it, and his voice provides some really nice contrast. What song is that? All Our Pastimes. Yeah, which he co-wrote. Rick Danko sings on that, and his voice just absolutely sounds amazing. The Eric Clapton original Hello Old Friend is on here, which is a song I absolutely love. Like a light, breezy 70s pop song, but it's just about it's almost hippie cheesy. Like he sees a flower, he sees an old friend, he sees an old man who he may or may not know, but it's just this hello old friend, really this awesome, positive, awesome 70s Eric Clapton vibe, which is what I like about him, is that song, Hello Old Friend, kind of captures it perfectly. Opens up with Beautiful Thing, which is like a nice slow ballad with some really nice slide playing. Carnival, the second track, feels like it should be the opening track. I think it has a little more energy, but Clapton does do this thing in the 70s a lot of times where he opens up with the chill track, which I kind of like. I like the philosophy behind that, but I do think Carnival is a little more upbeat, probably should have been the opener. County Jail Blues has some really good, nice, steady blues rock. All Our Pastimes, Danko, Hello Old Friend, I think the highlight of this album. It's a nice, simple pop song. Double Trouble, really good blues jam in Double Trouble. Marcy Levy gets some lead vocals in Innocent Times. And then the last 2 songs go into my Jerry Garcia philosophy. Both Hungry and Black Summer Rain. If you went to see an Eric Clapton show and it was similar to a Jerry show and it was mixed up set list, Hungry would be an awesome rocker. You'd be super excited every time you drop that. Nice heavy rocker, some good slide play. And then you got Black Summer Rain, which feels like a Jerry ballad. It just has that in the middle of a set Jerry Garcia ballad flavor that Clapton could do so well. So yeah, I like this album. I think it's a big, big step up from the previous one. It also has why I like 70s Clapton. There's a chill vibe, and that Hello Old Friend. Love that song. Right in the middle of the album. Just yeah. All right. My number 5 though, No Reason to Cry. My number 4 is his sixth studio album, Backless, came out in 1978. And again, this is more just really solid, consistent, good 70s Eric Clapton. Promises is on here. I think that was pretty much the only hit on here, which is just great, light Clapton 70s acoustic pop rock. It's just, I don't know, such good vibes. Some great songs on here. The Clapton original, Watch Out for Lucy, which has this Jerry Garcia band doing Bad Bad Leroy Brown type thing. Really good vibe, great lyrics, fun song from the very beginning, really engaging. Some really good blues playing in here. You get I'll Make Love, a cover of J.J. Cale's I'll Make Love to You Anytime. Nice low key bluesy rock. Another one that if he'd be dropping this in like a set list every 5 or 6 shows, people would be going crazy for it. If I Don't Be There by Morning, the Dylan co-wrote that song. Another just sort of like upbeat, fun energy, good groove. Tulsa Time closes out this album. Awesome, awesome, awesome cover. Was a live favorite for Clapton in the 70s. Yeah, excellent. Everything about this album, it flows well. You got some nice breezy acoustic pop. You got some more bluesy workout numbers. You got some really catchy songs every so often. You got some really upbeat stuff. Early in the Morning is on here. The CD version has a lot longer version than the actual vinyl for some reason. I guess because they can put more time on it. Or it was released later. But yeah, there's different versions. I think the longer version where Clapton gets to stretch his wings a little more is better. The one that's on the CD. But yeah, I really like this album. And it's another one that starts off with kind of a safe sort of mid-tempo opener and Walk Out in the Rain, a Dylan co-written song. Not with Clapton, with someone, Helena Springs, but a Dylan song. Another one where it starts off a little safe, but then that second track, Watch Out for Lucy, it's like, you're in. All right, I'm in this thing. Yeah, I really like this. Some good highlights, nice flow throughout the album, but that would be my number 4, Backless. My number 3 is his 5th, Slowhand. This came out in 77. This might make it to number 2, might have switched places if it weren't for the presence of Wonderful Tonight, a song at this point in my life I can no longer listen to anymore. Always been a little bit too syrupy for me, but knowing that the lyrics are meant to be like, apparently the story is when he wrote it, people put it on like albums and stuff like that. It's like mixtapes, oh, no, this is the way I feel about you. Apparently it was written in anger or sarcastically as he was like gritting his teeth like, yeah, you look wonderful tonight. That always helped me deal with it in my early years. I don't even want to deal with it anymore. There is another song on here called Peaches and Diesel. It is the closing track. It is an instrumental that kind of challenges that Wonderful Tonight vibe. But because it's an instrumental, because we don't have lyrics that lean into the sweetness or the sacchariness, it works really, really well. But it's an interesting contrast because it closes out the album. And it's the one thing early in the album that I'm like, ugh. But that's the one thing that definitely knocks it to 3. A lot of really good stuff on here. Cocaine, great cover, J.J. Cale song. Lay Down Sally, such an awesome, awesome groove, such a fun song. The Core, another kind of massive thing on here. This 8.5 minute just groove, just jam. Awesome guitar work, crazy sax work, great organ work. Like maybe it's a synth, organ or a synth. I think it's an organ solo. Or it might be just a regular keyboard solo. Just a groove, just a jam. Just the Core is a beast of a song. We get some other just really good stuff on here. Next Time You See Her, which is this kind of upbeat, breezy pop song, but the lyrics are really, really, really dark and are about getting vengeance in the most violent way possible, but you would never know it listening to the music. We're All the Way, nice, slow, nice melody, really nice kind of melodic, slower guitar piece. May You Never, 70s soft rock, kind of breezy. Mean Old Frisco, a little harder blues stuff getting in there, really nice slide work. Clapton slide work and all throughout the 70s is fantastic. And then you get that Peaches and Diesels to close out. Yeah, really, really solid album. Definitely sort of more of a mainstream going for radio hits. Or at least we found better songs or whatever. But the production, everything just sounds a little more like made for radio, but good choices in the covers. Some really good original songs. Some really good playing. Yeah, I like this album. My number 3, Slowhand. My number 2 is Eric Clapton, his debut album, which came out in 1970. And this kind of, to me, the vibe of this entire album is what the 70s is. Even though it came out in 70, it feels to me like what, in my mind, is sort of, I don't know, not stereotypical, but what like the spirit of the 70s were, and that you have like, an instrumental, and then a blues jam, and then this thing with horns, and then this like breezy pop song, and then this rocker, and like you're all over the map in like the most interesting way possible. But because it's sort of the spirit or like the vision of a single artist, or in this case Eric Clapton and all these crazy people he surrounded him with, it comes across as like this consistent, enjoyable thing. Like you have Clapton's on here, Bramlett's on here, Stephen Stills, Leon Russell's on here, Bobby Whitlock and Carl Rattle, Jim Gordon's on here. You got Rita Coolidge is doing backing vocals. Like you have this whole large sort of group of musicians that are helping like shape this album. But Clapton's at the heart of it, and it has a loose, free, fun feel about it. Opens up with an instrumental called Slunky, which it just sounds like we're dropping right into the middle of like a party jam. But it's like, hey, welcome. That's this album. We'll be all over the place. Enjoy yourself. Bad Boy, kind of fun little rocker. He's like trying to throw a little attitude out there, but Eric Clapton doesn't really have attitude, really. So it's kind of a fun little rocker. Lonesome and a Long Way Home, a Leon Russell cover, is on there. Really nice horn use on there. After Midnight is on this album, another J.J. Cale song. Blues Power is on here. Bet you didn't think you knew how to rock and roll. Great. Nice blues rocker and Bottle of Red Wine. Upbeat rocker there. The album closes with Let It Rain, just an awesome sort of Clapton's first kind of epic guitar workout, kind of like where I think they'd get inspiration for another popular song like 10 plus years later with that opening bam, bam, that opening guitar riff, slow it down and put a little Phil Collins stomp on it in like 12 years. Anyways, yeah, great. Just a great. Oh, I've told you for the last time. Yeah, that's the one which kind of echoes Let It Shine, Let It Shine, Let It Shine, little love light action there, kind of cropping in. Yeah, just a really good, fun, freewheeling, musically all over the place, good energy debut album. Yeah, really good. My number 2, Eric Clapton, his debut. And my number 1 Eric Clapton album of the 70s is 461 Ocean Boulevard. This came out in 74. That cover, I always just assumed it was in California, just because for me, I've always associated Clapton in the 70s as like chill California beach music, even though I think it's from Miami, from Florida, from the opposite coast. But something about it. And it's 2 songs on here, which if they were 40 minutes each, I could just listen to them. There's a cover of Willie and the Hand Jive, and it's just Clapton just slows it down and just bathes in the groove, man. Just slow and chill and taking his time. And then the following track, an Yvonne Elliman and Eric Clapton original, Get Ready, which is kind of get ready, kind of has the little pseudo reggae vibe. Live, they would put those 2 together and it would go on and should go on for far longer than it ever did. But that vibe right there, songs 3 and 4, like make me absolutely love this album. Opens up with Motherless Children, just an awesome arrangement of the traditional song. If you ever watched It Ain't Necessarily the News, I think that was the sort of news spoof. They used that Motherless Children as their theme song back in the day. Then just that great guitar work and that slide work and just the energy. Oh, fantastic. His cover of I Shot the Sheriff is on this album, which I think is fantastic. Love seeing that song live every time I saw him live. Let It Grow is on here. A Clapton original, kind of a quiet little slowly building, sort of Crazy Fingers-esque, just kind of slowly evolving, slowly growing like vines type, not really a jam, but this like ballady little psyche number. Oh, fantastic. You got a cover of Willie Dixon's I Can't Hold Out. Nice slow blues workout, some really good organ work in there. You get a cover of Robert Johnson's Steady Rollin' Man, some upbeat blues, really nice, awesome groove. Closes out with Mainline Florida, which has this awesome, simple guitar riff. Yeah, just a solid album. Like, that fun energy and that little bit of all over the energy from the debut is still here, but everything's tighter. The performances are tighter. Everything's just, it's in a little bit of a sleeker package, but it still all works really, really well. my favorite Eric Clapton album from the 70s, 461 Ocean Boulevard. All right, that's what they look like in writing, in typewritten form. My ranking of Eric Clapton's 70s albums. That's all I got. Yeah, that's it. I think they're all really good. I think really the only one that I kind of don't listen to as much as the others is number 6, but I really do enjoy all of them. It's got a very chill vibe, that reminds me of Jerry. I wonder if there's a common thread in their indulgences that brought out that same sort of chill vibe. Possibly. I don't know. All right. Thanks for watching. Let me know your favorite Clapton albums, your rankings from this era, this decade, all that kind of stuff. Your thoughts, all that. Subscribe, like, share, comment, and go listen to music. Go listen to Eric Clapton, people. Peace. Talk to you later.